Hello! Alright, welcome to Movie Scum again this week. I'm PBF.
I'm Puck.
And this gentleman right here is Digger. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Howdy, Digger.
New contributor to the site, if you've not already picked up on that and read his fantastic reviews, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you. You guys set the bar pretty high. I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Oh, very good. Appreciate that. So, this week, we are going to discuss an idea that Puck had. And why don't you elaborate on that?
Well, when we were talking last week, we got onto the topic of franchises that started really good, ended really shitty, and jumped the shark, to excuse the phrase. One that immediately jumps to mind because out of the horror franchises, if you will, is probably my favorite for some unknown reason, Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, with this being jumping the shark, as in everything else was just downward, even if it maybe kind of bounced back up, but like for me, jumped the shark after Part 3. Part 3 had some decent callbacks to the original, of course with the return of Nancy and her father, that you didn't really have. It had more depth in that movie than some of the vapid later sequels, and you could have avoided one of the most jarring recasts. Read the post, people.
So you're saying in a perfect world, the Nightmare on Elm Street series should have ended after Part 3.
That's
just
correct.
Cut it off.
That's correct. And there were portions after the fact that I liked, but ideally, New Line, stop raping that franchise, and I don't know, move on to Austin Powers or whatever. So.
And I would just like to add that in that same perfect world, Part 2 would never have existed.
But it just would have been 1 and 3.
Yes, that would be my perfect Nightmare on Elm Street world. You wouldn't have Freddy making really cheeseball, hip comments in the later sequels, and 2 just would be in utter non-existence, which would be fine with me.
All right. Well, in the vein of talking about other series that have also gone downhill at a certain point and kind of measuring that point, I like to point out the difference between popular opinion and a series that I have with my own personal opinion, which is the Indiana Jones series. A lot of people consider that the Temple of Doom, the second movie in the series, being the worst possible Indiana Jones film out of that, although I personally very much liked the Temple of Doom. I thought it was pretty hardcore, with hearts being ripped from chests, and I thought it was I still thought, even with the short round and those sorts of annoying elements, I still thought it was a well-constructed film that had a lot of good things going for it. So I would consider that series to have gone downhill with the most recent film. Of course, the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which has absolutely no redeeming qualities whatsoever.
Not at all. I agree with you there. I don't like Temple of Doom as much as the first and the third one, but man, that Crystal Skull, that is a piece of crap.
And I believe they're planning on a 5th one as well.
So might as well recast it with somebody completely different and fucking ruin it from
But you can't get John Rhys Davies. You got a problem. Because he was in what was that movie? It was an Uwe Boll movie. In the Name of the King. He did Uwe Boll, but he wasn't going to do the last Indiana Jones film. You got problems.
Right.
That's right.
Other series?
What about Police Academy?
Ooh.
There was a movie that probably ended about 15 minutes into it, something like that.
In 15, that's kind of generous.
Here's the thing. For Police Academy 1, for what it was, it's fine. You know what I mean? It's an 80s movie that is a bunch of young cut-ups getting naked and drinking, just this time instead of being, say, like at a college, it's at a police academy.
Right.
So in that respect, I really can't fault it there, but that's really, outside of that has no, aside from like Professional Skaters in Part 4 or something like that, I really honestly can't think of anything good about any of the rest of that.
No.
I think that pretty much failed out of the gate.
In fact, what's funny is that Warner Brothers has recently been releasing 4-packs of movies all in the same collection. The last Police Academy movie, not even in this latter collection. They put in Loaded Weapon 1 instead of Police Academy 7.
What's funny is I distinctly remember seeing at least 3 of the Police Academy movies, but I actually remember the Police Academy animated series more favorably than I remember the series of films.
I had the action figures for those. They were awesome. Had no relation to like the rest of the movie.
Aside from maybe some of the names of the characters.
Exactly.
That was about it.
So clearly that franchise, being utterly useless, did not faze the 3 of us. We still patronized and collected and now reminiscing about this. That's nice. Okay.
Nicely done.
But then going back to horror, as far as movies are concerned, I did want to talk about a shark movie series that jumped the shark, which is, of course, Jaws. The first Jaws, of course, being universally considered a classic horror film. I don't think anybody here can say anything against that one. With the second one still being a good film. Not quite as good as the first one, of course. It's hard for sequels to do that. But then the third one just going off the edge of any kind of respect and just being a complete and utter, just dismal failure of a film.
Sorry, Dennis Quaid. It's not your week on movie Scum.
It's not. And that's actually a really good example also of a steady decline that Nish never went backwards. It was good, not so good, worse. Michael Caine can't save you. You're dead.
You could put it on a graph.
Yep, exactly.
Just a straight line down.
Exactly.
So if there's ever going to be a new Jaws movie, it's going to be terrible. Exponentially worse than any of the other ones.
Freddy versus Jaws.
I might actually pay money to see that.
I might as well. So I think now somebody's going to.
But you get to see Freddy in a Speedo at the beach.
Yes, you do, and you may even actually get to see that in one of the other Nightmare on Elm Street movies because some of those are pretty horrible.
Freddy was at a beach in part 4. So.
That's right.
That's right. Yes.
I had wiped that from my memory. Thank you.
Anything I can do to help.
All right. Well, that was really fun. It was good ripping into those horrible movies.
Very cathartic to throw some damage back at those movies that hurt you as a young person.
Yes, it was. So again, Digger, thank you very much for coming on this week. Please come back.
Thank you for having me. If I'm ever in town again, definitely. If we can figure something out.
Yeah, definitely something.
Technology-wise,
I know.
I would be more than happy to contribute.
Excellent, and again, very good addition to our blog there with the reviews and everything else that you do for us.
I'll keep churning them out.
Excellent.
I got plenty more terrible movies to talk about.
Excellent. All right. Well, again, I'm PBF.
I'm Puck.
And I'm Digger.
And that will be it for this week of Movie Scum. And see you next week. Go see a movie.